A dark, mysterious cave is both a source of wonder and terror. Will you find a long forgotten treasure, or will you get stuck in a claustrophobic, tight passageway and die a most unpleasant death? The movie I'll be talking about obviously took the second option and added creepy cave dwelling monsters for good measure. No, I'm not talking about The Descent. No, 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 no. I'm talking about the more creatively named movie, The Cave. Little side note, apparently The Cave and The Descent both came out in 2005 according to the unreliable sources on the internet, which is kind of weird since both are horror movies with a cave setting, with cave monsters. Let's call it a coincidence. I think the plot is kinda obvious from the get-go. A bunch of people go into a cave, run into some creepy shit, and get picked off one by one. But I guess I'll be a bit more specific. A bunch of cave delvers and scientists go into an uncharted cave system beneath an old Romanian church and find a new ecosystem. Only problem is, the ecosystem puts them on the menu. Another little subplot thingy they have going on is that in the church they find drawings and such that depict actual demons living in the caves. One might think the idea of a bunch of vicious demons skulking around in a dark cave would be the biggest deterrent, but honestly I'd rather run into a demon than squeezing myself through a tight cave tunnel with the possibility of getting stuck or lost at any moment to die a slow, agonizing, claustrophobic and rather boring death. At least the demon would dispatch me quickly. And if you bump into a demon in Japan, well, so we follow our daring gang of one-dimensional characters down the cave system. Yeah, I didn't care much for the characters in this movie. Aside from the group leader whom gets infected by a funky parasite, the other ones don't really have any character development, aside from the stereotypical scientist person, tough guy, spunky young girl, and so on. As much as I love horror movies, it's a common trope in many horror flicks. In a way it makes sense, since the actual spotlight is on the creature or monsters. And this movie does have a few cool creature designs. The cave system is home to 3 species of creatures, such as a large albino mole rat that's almost cute if I didn't get Fallout flashbacks popping up at the most inconvenient times. There's also plenty of water down in the cave, having our bland group spending a lot of time diving in dark waters where they come face to face with some freaky mean looking eels. Yet none of these odd critters end up causing any bodily harm to the humans. When it comes to thinning out the movie's cast, there's the humanoid creatures or so-called demons. I wouldn't say their design isn't that original, but they do look menacing and gruesome enough to do the trick. I'm gonna reveal a little spoiler here, but it's one of those so-called twists you see coming a mile away if you've watched enough horror movies. The twist being that the humanoid monsters are actually humans mutated by a parasite to adapt to live in the cave. The skulking cave demons are pretty darn versatile too, moving around the tightest tunnels with ease, crawling on walls and swimming in the underground waterways. They even grew wings to fly too. Obviously, to make them look even more dangerous, but ultimately it makes little sense for them to sprout wings to adapt to a cave system, since these guys are pretty big, so I imagine they would be smashing into the cave walls all the time flying around in the dark. Oh well, at least it looks kinda cool. In general, The Cave is a decent horror flick with some cool monsters. It brings nothing new to the table and will never stand out in any way, but it will do for a chill movie night.